Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good morning, Teresa. Representing Generation X. They need some representation as an Xer. For more reasons than we can even imagine. All right, I'm gonna count you in 3, 2, 1, and then on your own, you're gonna take your deep breaths. 3 of them. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. I am the daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, the granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and the great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to this morning mental workout. It is Sunday, so it is Self-Reflection Sunday. I do have some self-reflection questions for you, but before we get into that, this live is sponsored by the Elements H2O, and when I say drink water, you will drink water. So let's go ahead and get our first iteration of water in. Drink water. All right. So as more people come on, I had a very tumultuous day yesterday, character building, inhibitory controlling, and everything under the sun. And as I was saying on TikTok, how I was able to still navigate through that day and get everything done that I needed to get done was the strength of the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And the only way that happens is to do more challenging things with your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Lacey. And so what happens is, if you're tired or if things are not going well, Oscar steps in and says, "Hey, I got this, Miss Darlene. You go ahead and take a vacation. I'm going to take care of this." And then Oscar starts to make fucked up decisions, fuck some shit up, and then acts like Oscar didn't do all of that. So in order for you to be able to not even necessarily endure more, but to cognitively be able to have a different neurological experience every day, you have to challenge yourself. You have to be able to challenge yourself. And as I ended the TikTok live, and I'm starting this one, I will use Nola as the example. When she started on TaskRabbit, the IKEA mom bed, 2.5 hours, her first appointment. That's how long it took her. She needed the manual. She needed better tools and everything else. Now she's about 33 minutes on taking it apart or putting it together. She doesn't need the manual. She doesn't need instructions or whole, how do I do this? It's in and out. That IKEA mom bed is nothing. But why is that? Because of how many other things, thousands and thousands of pieces of furniture and indoor, outdoor pergolas and all kind of sheds and things at the convention center and everything else that she has done. Good morning, Sarah. So when she gets to an IKEA mom bed, it's nothing. And what I tell her at appointments, now that she opens up these boxes and they have all of these amazing manufacturing defects and things that take place, tight spaces and everything else, she now has the technical competence to handle it, assemble it, and move on. And the only reason why that's possible is because of how many times she said yes to harder projects. And so you're not doing that in your day-to-day life. You're not saying yes to discomfort. You're not saying yes to something that you don't necessarily know how to do, i.e. me learning about damn neuroscience, because of comfort, safety, and survival. So you have calculated avoidance syndrome. So you're going to avoid anything that potentially makes you feel discomforted, that makes you look like you're going to be embarrassed because you don't know how to do it. And so you have this very comforted existence. And then things start happening and you don't have the neurological capacity to handle life's lifing with peopling. Yesterday, people was peopling the fuck out of my day and life was lifing. I'm having PTSD moments and everything else to the point where I had to eat a second bowl of oatmeal for dinner and a boiled egg and take my ass to bed because of how much had taken place yesterday in order for me to wake up this morning and do this work again. So you're not asking more of your brain. So when you need more from your brain, it's not neurologically available to you. So imagine if you could make a $5 deposit into a bank account starting on day one of your life, and you are however old you are, and now you just had these $5 every day, every day, every day. And now you need to go to the bank and take out $30. Well, if you are 5 years old, you got $35 in the bank, $30 in the bank, no problem. And then you just keep adding 5, the interest is on it, you put it in a CD, and you just have this cash flow. You're like, oh, I got $1,000 problem. Let me go to the bank and get $1,000. I got $1,000. Shit, I've been putting $5 in this doggone account every day since I was knee high to a June bug. But if you haven't been putting that $5 in the account every day since you was knee high to a June bug, and now you need $1,000, you don't have it. Where you gonna get it from? You're gonna have to go borrow it. That means you're gonna have to go ask other people, and people gonna want to know when they're getting their money back and all of that. Or you might not be able to pay for the thing that you need to pay for because everybody you know ain't got $1,000. So now you got this $1,000 problem with these people around you that can't solve it because they don't have $1,000 either, because they didn't put $5 in their bank account there every single day. So see how that works? So if you don't have the neurological capacity and the people around you, good morning, Jared, don't have it, that's why you can't solve your problems, because then nobody put no money in the hippocampus bank of neurons. So there ain't no neurons to go and withdraw from for a bigger problem. You never thought of it that way. So when you keep depositing, now when you have a bigger withdrawal that you need to make, it's there. Good morning, Daisy. I needed to make a big ass withdrawal yesterday in order to get through that motherfucking day. Especially when I got to the end of the day and I had planned to get something from the Whole Foods cart and it wasn't there. And then I came home and planned to make dinner, and then Greg's ass had everybody out here, but everybody in the loft and the helicopters and everything. So then I ended up with oatmeal. Now some of you along that day would have gave up probably by noon. You would have never made it to 8 o'clock from sun up to sundown. Good morning again, Shay. So you don't have any neurological deposits. You have no neurological deposits. So Jared, you got home from your very difficult day and you had a piece of cake. And I had a sliver. And when I say a sliver, I mean the size of the cookie had to be from here to here. And the cookie was already thin. From here to here. That's what I said. Here's your treat for the day. We didn't have no food. We had some snacks and some water from 7:45 to 6:15. And still had to get home and eat. And I kept doing it. And every last one of y'all got y'all graphic. And Monique was the only one that had a semi-preview because she told me her live was ready. I was like, it's going to be Monday before I can watch it live. I don't have it because we got appointments today. So you don't have any neurological deposits. Maybe I'll make that a live. You ain't got none. Not no big ones. So your daily deposit is a Neuro Rep. That starts. You start your day, you wake Miss Darlene up, and now you're doing a Neuro Rep. But you're keeping Miss Darlene online all day long. That's about the time that my husband would be suggesting Panda Express. There you go. Exactly. And what did I eat? Y'all know how much I love oatmeal. And a boiled egg. I mean, I'm like, nah, but when I get home, that bowl of oatmeal with nothing in it, and that boiled egg with nothing on it, and some bottled water, oh, that hit different. Yummy, yummy to my tummy. That's what my mouth watering right now. I'm just thinking about it. Like, shit, this sticky ass fucking oatmeal. Oh my goodness. And I love when it sits up in my gums and I'm trying to talk and rinse it out and get on live. Oh, baby. Yes. Give it to me. Double that. You know what I'm saying? Triple down on them raw oats, Kroger brand. Hey, say less. Is what I'm talking about. You want some smothered chicken? No, y'all got some oatmeal. You want some salmon? Hell no. Where that oatmeal at? Rolled oats, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yes. No name brand, store brand for me. You know, there ain't nothing like an organic brown boiled egg to just, you know what I'm saying? Some Kroger brand water. Man, y'all sleep. I gotta make that. You know what I mean? Especially without butter and sugar. Listen, you ain't had oatmeal till it ain't got shit in it. That's a different neurological experience. I'm just here to tell you for the foodies. Go ahead and knock that out. You know what I mean? Don't put nothing in it. And then after it get cold, eat that shit congealed. No experience. Eat it congealed. Just let it just kind of I'm like that. No, that's not what happened. So you got to strengthen your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That's what you have to do every single day. You got to make Miss Darlene deposits so that when you have the day that I had yesterday, you can still keep going and growing. You can still wake up, go to sleep, wake up, and do what you need to do. But you can't because you don't have anything to draw from. You don't have any deposits. And now you say, hey, Miss Darlene, we're gonna need you today. This is about a $3,000 job over here. This is bring 5,000 just in case. You don't have it. And it's because when it was time to strengthen Miss Darlene, you chose comfort. You chose safety and you chose survival because you said you weren't going to need to do this. All of you who have my book, no assembly required. That's under Ask the Experts, Leverage the Experts. What did I have to do yesterday? Assemble 27 drawers. So in 2009, I said, yeah, I ain't putting together shit. 2026 said, hold my tea. You said, what now? You ain't about to do, you want to go home today? I bet you put some shit together today. I bet you figure out how to get 27 drawers done today before the sun goes down. Yeah. No neurological capacity in 2029 and 2026. 27 drawers. No wonder point. That part. The poor little thumb, my shoulders, I just hurt. Whole fucking body hurts right now. I had to order another book. Hopefully this autograph. I don't think so because the autograph was from 2015. So you said it is? Yes. So you don't have enough neurological deposits because you haven't made them. And now you want the brain. If you ain't got, you need $1,000 and you got $30 in the bank, you don't have $1,000. You cannot keep going to your bank account and saying $30 turn into $1,000. Why this $30 can't be $1,000? Because you didn't put it in there and did not spend it. So now you want this $30 to do $1,000 job. How? I ain't never seen $30 do $1,000 job without gambling or something else. You just say, hey, $30. Go ahead and take care of that $1,000 problem. How? And that's what you're asking your brain to do. When it was time to be discomforted, when it was time to practice inhibitory control, when it was time to actually solve a small problem, you went on ahead and pushed that shit to the side. You said, yeah, I don't need to solve that. I don't need to solve my daughter. She was in 8th grade. I said, you got to learn how to communicate effectively. She didn't. Her business showed up 5 years later, and guess what she had to do? Learn how to communicate effectively while she was in business at the appointments. She had 5 years where she could have been improving her communication skills, and she had about 6 minutes to become an effective communicator. It's used. I will find out when it comes. Yes. And so now you have these $1,000 problems with $50 in the bank, your neurological bank. And so now shit gets really tight, and then you start making some more decisions. So guess what happens next? Then you'll have a $2,000 issue. And now you get $20 in the bank. You know you can't take out $10 out the ATM. You never could. And now you got to go in the bank. If you got $15. Now you got, let me get 10. Yeah, I know, I got an overdraft. So now you got overdraft. Trying to protect your spending. And now you're using overdraft. Every time you use overdraft, I don't even know what the overdraft fees. That were probably $30 by now. And now you are overdrawn on your neurological account because you ain't making no deposits. And shit is really hitting the fan. Now they done closed the fucking account. You ain't even got access to it no more. And you still aren't trying to pay that off, get out of check systems, and come on back to a surplus. And now you mad because you ain't did shit for your cognitive development. So what you start doing? Blaming everybody else for your neurological ineptitude, your neurological deficit. Yeah, see the government, you know what I'm saying, elected officials. And then they over there, then it's the white folks and it's black folks. And then they're just trying to keep a person down. You know, they really just don't want me to be right. They just don't want me to be great. Who don't want you to be great? You don't want you to be great. You don't want you to be great. Because if you wanted you to be great, you do the neurological work that it takes in order for you to be neurologically great. Had to break in. So neuro reps, let's see, like, we're going to wait a minute. Is weightlifting for the brain for Miss Darlene to get strong. Miss Darlene is supposed to be the brain's leaders. Not supposed to, but yes. So neuro reps is the parent of the brain, the responsible parent. Running shit, the CEO. It's the CEO of the brain, executive function. They make the brain function. And that can happen when you are not strengthening it. So you have to take on more. Nola doesn't, we rarely get a mom bed. And the IKEA furniture was so hard that first year that now when it comes, we're like, did they change it? I'll take the hardware out the box. I'm like, is this all the hardware for this? I remember the first time you put this, why did this shit take us 3 hours? Why did it take us 3 hours to get this done? And now we 35, 40 minutes. She didn't put 2 couches together in an hour. IKEA couches. Couch and a love seat. In 1 hour. Why? Because she put together Lovesac, 7th Avenue. Lovesac got fucking 7th Avenue and Lovesac got fucking recliners, hydraulic lifts. She put together pergolas, Murphy beds from scratch built into the wall, garage shelves that's floating, and all this other stuff. So then she go back to IKEA, she like, I mean, it might have some IKEA isms, but like we got 3 IKEA appointments today. Okay, cool, got it. Light day, light work. You got a Murphy bed. One day we had 3 7th Avenue couches back to back. I said, did you ever do this again? Never, ever. And now those kitchen cabinets, she got coming up, nothing. Little garage cabinets, garage shelves. That shit is light work. That's like nothing at all. Like vanity's going to take an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's just how it is. That's it. Done. But yesterday, with that wall that wasn't square, she can do that too because the closet is perfect condition. But you can't do that. It was 2 7th Avenues. Okay, 2 7th Avenues. Whatever the fuck it was is PTSD for me. So the point that I'm making is, but it was 2 sectionals. Yes. Teresa said, I can relate. Overwhelmed, overstimulated, overdraft. Turn your ass around in my sweet pea voice from Baby Boy, the turnaround doctor. Yes. So the point is, your brain ain't strong enough. And you're not waking up every day saying, I need to strengthen my brain. I need to strengthen my brain. I need to make daily neurological deposits into my brain because some shit go hit the fan. Or I can't even innovate. I can't even actually get my business to the next level because my brain is stuck. That's why mergers and acquisitions are so popular, because organizations can't think of anything new to do. So they go buy a new company so that first of all, they'll be able to still deliver double-digit profits to Wall Street. Let's keep it a buck. And then they will advance their portfolio, their S Corps and everything else, because they ran out of ideas. I don't run out of ideas. That's why I can post new content. I can post old content. I can take old content and make it new content. I'm 1,002 days live with new content because my brain is braining. But your brain ain't braining because you ain't doing no brain training. Hold up. And you think you are. You think you are because you're putting $25 a month in this is a better one. I think you can still open a checking account with $25. So you think because you got that $25 in your checking account that you're good because you got a savings. But if you take that $25 out of the checking account, the savings account closes. So you actually don't have that $25. At a minimum, you'd have to have $50 in there to actually have $25 because the minimum is keep that open. So just so Miss Darlene is still there, that $25 don't count. So you get $25 on top of what you need to keep the account open. And you like, yep, I got a cushion. I got a savings account. That's how you're treating your brain. but have a $35 problem. You stuck. You can't go get the 35. You get the 35 and now the account gonna close. Have a $95 problem. You bad. It's never gonna work. All you can do is have a $25 problem. That's it. Anything past that, and the account is gonna close. Movies are just as bad with being out of it. They are. They're terrible. That's why they're remaking every fucking thing. Because their brains ain't braining no more. Because they ain't got $25. Right, until now. Thank you for that, Teresa. So that's why when shit hits the fan and you confused as to why, you're like, but I'm doing my neuro reps. And how much money you got in your neurological bank? Do you have the amount to cover this? Are you going to go into a deficit? And yes. And then you get into this deficit, and then Oscar says, hey, pretty girl, come on over here. Hey, sweet young thing. You know what I'm saying? I got some sweet treats for you. You know what I mean? You know what? You see that vodka on the kitchen counter? Go ahead and have some of that. With that, you know, you only spent a lot of time on your phone today. I think you only been on social media for 2 hours. You know, just go ahead and just scroll till your eyes just get so heavy. You just fall asleep with your phone in your hand. And then you start calling other people who have a neurological deficit. Hey, what y'all doing? Oh, we over here neurological deficiting it. Shit, I'm about to roll through. Say less. And now y'all talking about the deficits. And see, you can't really do that. And then, you know, you trying to do this and that. And now y'all got a nice little pity party, powwow, potluck party going on. You can pull out the grill and chill. Ain't no brainstorming happening. Y'all not saying, how we get out of this neurological deficit? You know what I'm saying? Why we always talking about the same problems? Y'all know we've been friends since we was knee-high to a June bug. Why we still got the same problems? You can't do that. You can't process what's happening because y'all at a neurological deficit. It's impossible to do. If you're wondering why, damn, how come I can't solve this problem? When did you put some more money into your neurological bank? When? When did you read a book that you hated? When did you exercise for 30 or more consecutive days and now it's just myelinated when you don't feel like it? The only thing I couldn't do yesterday was stretch, and it was because I had to make a choice. Am I going to eat dinner or am I going to stretch? Because it was a time constraint. It wasn't, I got 55 extra minutes and now, or 55 minutes, and I'm not about to do. Good morning, Vic Anderson. How are you this morning? It's a great time to drink water, ladies and gentlemen. We have a guest instructor. Are you there, sir? Or ma'am? Notice we have a toddler brain visiting us this morning. Notice that the toddler brain can't talk about themselves because it's not myelinated. Notice that the toddler brain attempted to reduce what I'm saying and doing. I think they might have said something else, but I don't view messages that YouTube has held to protect the community and myself. So what brings you here this morning, Vic Anderson? Neurologically speaking, why are you here? What's your objective this morning? We all know what it is, but you don't. For those of you watching on the replay, Vic Anderson -0, or no, the lowercase o, the number 3, and K is here with his daily myelination of trolling. And I am the subject. Shocker here. And in case I didn't read it, just so we know that this is people-centered thinking. She's full of shit. She was standing on the corner with a sign begging for money. That's what Vic Anderson -lowercase o 3-letter K is saying. And Vic is back. I'm a beautiful Black man, and I would never date a sister like you. You are stingy. You are not a beautiful Black man because a Black man would never say those words. And you are also not a beautiful black man because you would have spelled it S-I-S-T-A and called me a sister. So that's actually not true, Vic Anderson. So now you're lying. I asked you what brings you here this morning. Teresa said, Oscar sounds like the devil. Is there such thing? Making suggestions to meet you down the wrong path, tempting you to be less than you are. No, Oscar is just in a dysregulated brain. So Oscar is doing what dysregulated brains do, and it is, I see it, I want it, and consequences be damned. Zara said, I took my sips of water, coffee break time for the troll intermission. Yes. I'm glad you're off crack. You look a little better. So, Vic, again, the question that I've asked is this, before you type anything else, Vic, listen. I would be mad, but 3 years ago, when you were smoking crack, you stole $100 from me. What brings you here this morning, Vic? Now, before you type anything else, Vic, let's do this. Do not use me in the next sentences that you're going to type. Only talk about you, the real you. Don't talk about me, anything about me. You've said enough about me. So you think, so you believe. Just talk about you, Vic. Let's see if you can type something about yourself that's actually true, because you're here, and I've asked you, why are you here this morning? I've asked you, why are you here this morning? What brings you out this morning, Vic? Why are you here? Why are you on my live? Okay, and so for the 4th time, ladies and gentlemen, Vic has not been able to, and it might even be 5. Let's count. Let's see. Uninvited guest, Vic. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your 5th sentence where you cannot not include me. So let's try and see if you can do this for a 6th time. Type a sentence that has nothing to do with me and focuses on you. Let's see if you can get this done for the 6th time. Let's see if what Vic has myelinated. If he can actually do it. If he can follow neurological instructions and do what I said do. Vic still hasn't told us why he has decided to disrupt our learning environment. He doesn't know neurologically. He's myelinated that. He's also myelinated being others focused. So he actually doesn't have the myelination to talk about himself. The person whose comments I keep removing, please read the pinned comment. You are a visitor, and so you could look, listen, and like, but you haven't earned the right to type. Do not tell me about your rights on social media. You do not have those rights over here. You will be blocked. Vic is only here because he's the lesson. He's the neurological bell work for today. Vic, do you have anything to say about yourself this morning, or can you answer the question as to why you're here? Neurologically speaking, why are you on my live this morning? Okay, and so now you still can't talk about yourself. Now you've brought in some demonic entity. Let's try this one more time before you get blocked, Vic. Again, you can look, listen, and like, but you cannot type in my comment section. Let's do this one more time for your own self, Vic. Why are you here? You got 2 things that you can respond to. Why are you here disrupting my learning environment? And number 2, type something about yourself that doesn't include me. So what's happening for the visitors is that Vic has myelinated trolling. And as a result, Vic can't talk about himself neurologically because trolling requires you to myelinate the other person. Vic also can't talk about himself because Vic is avoiding his own existence, and that will require him to self-reflect and self-correct. He can't do that either. So he's actually experiencing tension in his body, which is the insula sending an alert. He's also experiencing friction in the anterior cingulate cortex. We call her Miss Brenda Jones, because this myelinated trolling toddler brain existence that he has is not working over here. So now he's getting his left and right amygdala are hijacked, and now he is going to present a very identity protected, threatening response. I got under her skin. That's why she stopped her programming to talk to me. Now who's educating, who ain't? I'm actually educating the group because what you have not been able to do neurologically is what I requested. And that's to stop using me in your statements. And you have been able to unsuccessfully do that because you have myelinated a people-centered thinking process. So you can't stop thinking about me. Why are you so obsessed with me? You came here to disrupt this environment. You came here with what you thought was a troll statement that was going to hijack my amygdala, and you have failed numerous times to do what I'm saying do neurologically because you actually are neurologically inept and you can't because you myelinated trolling. So you are actually damaging your own brain by doing this. See? And ladies and gentlemen, once again, Dr. Donna Bomaye. I chose not to talk to you no more. Bye. Have a good day. How many times have you seen this, ladies and gentlemen? And I don't think that Nick is actually gone. He's about to be gone, but I don't think that Nick is actually gone. So once again, a toddler brain troll could not actually stop being obsessed with me and actually go into their default mode network and self-reflect and self-correct. They couldn't actually explain why they interrupted my life neurologically, and they couldn't actually tell the truth about themselves. That's why trolling is damaging to the troll's brain. It's not affecting my brain whatsoever, but they're literally damaging their own brain. So this was definitely negative deposits. They don't have any. So now later today or later this week, when Vic needs to actually solve a real problem in real life, he won't be able to do it because look at what he's doing to his brain on the internet that's myelinated. So now it's going to get complicated and he doesn't have the neurological capacity to problem solve because look what he's myelinated. So when this problem shows up or this thing that he needs to contend with, he's going to look without. He's literally, yes, he is literally not going to be able to solve his problem and he is going to blame everybody but himself because he's not depositing into Miss Darlene every day. That's why trolling is dangerous for the troll, not the person on the receiving end of it. The troll is damaging their own brain. See, he's not gone. I told y'all. Didn't I say he wasn't leaving? Could you shut up and block me, please? I thought you were gone. And now, because of the cognitive dissonance, and his Miss Darlene is waking up slightly, she's like, you really need to stay and listen to her. And so he is having this cognitive dissonance. I don't want to listen to her, but she's right. But I need help, but I don't want to need help. And fuck her. And going back and forth. And now he's saying block him. No, because you, Vic, was supposed to come here and listen and change your neurological condition. And you didn't do that. You went to what you've myelinated. I thought you said you were leaving. You came and disrupted this environment. You couldn't do the work. And now, what you have is internal friction that's taking place in your anterior cingulate cortex. Exactly. Exactly. And now you are wondering why your brain can't brain in your day-to-day life when you needed to, and it's because you have myelinated trolling. And now it's actually implicit and you do it automatically. Just shut up and block me and get on with your program, please. No. Remove yourself. You invited yourself over here, and now you want me to stop you from some shit you started. Leave. You said you were leaving, so leave. Why can't you leave, Vic? Now I have to do something extra. You're already the lesson. And now you want me to be personally accountable while you continue to be personally unaccountable. Just block me. No. Because you came over here to learn and then you didn't do it. And now you want me to block you so you can say, see, and this is why I'm not working on myself. No. Let's see how many times you type this. It seems he feels implicit in his own mental limitations, and the anger jumps out. The $25 budget, no deposits. Yeah. It backfired on you this morning, Vic. Anybody got a joke? Vic said he gonna be quiet. You know, let me start talking again. There you go. And then he going to sleep. Just like the person from yesterday. Ain't this funny? This is I tell you, somebody need to record my lives now. They're like, she is the troll whisperer. She the brain whisperer, the people whisperer, and the troll whisperer. Like, damn. Sending them to church yesterday and to sleep. They had to go get some REM sleep and some Jesus. Yes. That's what they happened to him. I'm leaving. Why are you still here? Why are you still here then? Supposed to come over here to learn, and then you done disrupted the environment. Go ahead and block your dumb ass. So as I was saying, I don't think Vic is gone. I think Vic is still listening. But he said he's going to sleep. So night-night. Get you a whole complete brainwash while you're there. I hope the astrocytes shrink so the doggone ependymal cells can take that cerebrospinal fluid. I hope the doggone microglials push all that shit out. And I hope you myelinate something different and prune this dumbass trolling. That would be great. No intentional control. Why is he asking to be removed when they can just remove themselves? Can't control the internal, so they try to control the external toddler brain. Right. You came over here, you can leave from over here. Well, you need to remove me. Or you can practice inhibitory control and hold yourself personally accountable and remove yourself. Vic ain't gone. Vic ain't gone at all. Watch. Vic gonna say something. I guarantee you, Vic ain't went to sleep. Vic is still listening because Vic is supposed to be over here and starting neuro reps today to get that raggedy ass existence of a life under control. So anyway, as I was saying before Vic gave us bell work today, became part of the lesson, is he's a perfect example of not having enough neurological deposits. And that's what's happening to you. So going forward, you need to do your daily deposits. You actually need to do the neurological work so that when it's time for you to go make a neurological withdrawal, there is something there. Find yourself saying, why can't I? Why can't I? Where are the deposits at? His Uncle Vinny finds value in this live, and he said, let's just be quiet. Yep. And look at all of you using your brain terms and nicknames to evaluate and assess the situation. This time last year, you couldn't do that. Neither could I. So see the amazing brain. Isn't it interesting when you bring your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex online and you are using your logic and reasoning, how you can see how much dysregulated everybody else's brain is? You ever noticed that now? Have y'all saw that? How simple it is to get that done. So this is a good start to Self-Reflection Sunday. I do have questions for you today. So go ahead and type your deepest fear. What is your deepest fear? And this is, if you're on level 3, it's a Neuro Rep as well. Remember to type your ellipses and then go ahead. Yep. And the good thing about trolls is they think they're in an environment where this is a troll environment. Got it. You can put them you can put it in the chat, Jared, after the chat is over. After the live is over. I thought you had to go back to work, Jared. You need your job, bro. Deepest fear. Okay. My deepest fear is that I will die before 1 million people learn how to use their brain. effectively. Not being employable or not being useful anymore. That's Andrew saying that. Good morning, Raniel. Good morning, Chris. If I didn't say good morning to you all. Not accomplishing my goals. Oh, excuse me. We know I'm yawning. It's not cool in my brain. I'm actually sleepy. Sarah said, I think my deepest fear is my vision coming true, but not being able to really share it with my family members and being estranged from them. Raniel said, being a bad mom to my children in their eyes. Andrea said, the line from Encantano under the surface, I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can be of service. If I can't be of service. It hits hard. Got it. Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. Sarah said, even though I'm already estranged from them. Roger that. Yeah, it came in twice. Lola's thinking. Anybody else? I know Lacey is listening. Bridget, where's yours at? And Teresa? Bridget, not having control of my poo and losing it in public. Of my shit. Yourself or your real shit or your staying lazy, Jay. Okay, I'm out. Got it, Jared. I gotta say this. And losing it in public. Do you mean your physical or your actual, I'm gonna go ham and burger on somebody, Bridget? Just so I understand which one it is. Lola, my biggest fear is not being mobile and being able to use my brain effectively. Because you have irritable bowel disorder. Okay, got it. That one. Thank you for the clarification. Teresa, I didn't hear. Okay. I didn't hear what was supposed to be typed. What was the question you asked for? What is your deepest fear? Chris said immortality, living forever. The story of the Sybil. Essentially, she wished for as many years as sand on the beach, but didn't ask for youth. Got it. That's what they say. I know a couple people who had parents that lived to be over 100, and they said they're just tired of being here because it's just like why. I mean, if history keeps repeating itself every 10 years and you're over 100, you've seen that shit 10 times. Desmond said losing everything and not being able to provide for my family. Roger that. And now that you've said your deepest fear, how do you feel? I know, Teresa, you getting ready to type yours up. How do you feel now that you have said what your deepest fear is? I need to grab my notebook because these are new questions. Vulnerable, Nola said. Sarah said, I feel fine. I guess because I just realized it already came true. My deepest fear partially already is true. That's good. Raniel said, like since I finally said it, I can develop a strategy to possibly prevent it. Yes, ma'am. Andrea said, conflicted. I can definitely see my people-centered thinking, but getting rid of the old myelination is a bear. Yeah. Lola said, it's not about how I'm feeling, it's what I'm doing about it. Exercising more and doing neuro reps. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Shay again. Teresa, dying before I fully awaken to the truth of who I am. God folded over on himself. I am that I am. That's my mission, to awaken. And then how you feel about that, Teresa? So one thing, I think I missed the question. How did you feel about expressing your deepest fear? How did you feel once you said what it was? That's the follow-up question. Is it unusual that I am unable to identify my deepest fear? Yes, it's not unusual because your insula is numb and your ACC can't measure the friction. So again, you are working on how you feel because you decided once you left and went with Dr. Olagun that you weren't going to feel things anymore. So you've opted for not feeling. So now you can't feel. But you can once you keep doing neuro reps and open everything up. And so also, because when you left, there was this sense of fear and this friction that you felt like you couldn't feel. And so as soon as you all are working to create an environment that's inclusive and embrace diversity in your home, then the ACC will say, okay, all right, there's no friction anymore. We can start to feel again. So you need to update your ACC to say, it's okay for us to feel. This is natural. The insula is sending us these notifications. So feel it, because you shut it all down. Said, I'm not going to feel anything. So yes, it's happening because of the dysregulation that you wired for protection early on. Desmond's thinking. So the thing with the deepest fear is once you say what it is, as several of you have recognized that some of it is happening, some of it is already happening, here's what I'm doing to prevent it, you actually can process it. So Bridget said, I think about it all the time. It gives me anxiety, especially since I'm being ready to head out. So I'm feeling anxious about it. Well, all you can do is set up a strategy, Bridget, for preventative maintenance, and that's it. I feel like a weight lifted a bit, and I need a strategy to make sure this doesn't happen. So what happens is when you can't say what your deepest fear is, it impacts you neurologically. So it stays in the limbic system. It stays in a part of the brain that can't process the fear. So you're on a high, like Bridget said, I'm vigilant. I'm on a high state. I'm anxious about it. So Ms. Darlene isn't being brought into the chat to say it. And then when you say it, you have your feelings about it. And now, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? What am I getting ready to do about it? Or in Shay's case, what am I not feeling? Why am I not feeling it? And what am I getting ready to do about it? Because the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is where you process things. So yes, you will have fears. But there is a bigger brain region that's responsible for assessing threats. Is this a real fear? If it is in Bridget's case, then what are we going to do about it? If it's not and it's just a perceived fear, what are we going to do about it? Feelings are notifications that just show up and they alert you, we feel something. Okay, well, what are we feeling? And then identifying, why am I feeling it? What am I going to do about it? So this predicting brain is showing up saying, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And when your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the executive function of your brain, is strong, it can say, I feel that, got it, what can I do about it? None of us know the day that we're going to die. Not none of us actually know when we're going to die. So you're going to die. And I got a video that says that, but you ain't dead today. So what you going to do today? Because you're still here. Because you're going to die, but it ain't today, or it ain't right now. And Bridget said, I actually have a strategy in place because of the fear. Miss Darlene leads all my outings. Amy and Lala want me to be afraid. See, there you go. There you have it. So that's what's happening. Queen Biscotti, is this Dominique? Because y'all got, I tell you, this is a neurological workout for me. Because everybody's name ain't they name. Friterion, and that's Chris's username. Then I get to Instagram and y'all got a different username. Then y'all got a different username on TikTok. I'm like, shit. Oh, okay, Shayna. Here we go. Good morning, Shayna. Welcome. Yes. So you and Dominique's names are nothing like. It's 3 different names. Yes, it's good and it works, Shayna. That's what I told her. I messaged her yesterday because she couldn't get in the system. So welcome. Shayna is our can I say what subgroup you represent, Shayna? Because you put it on the thing. Is it okay for me to say your subgroup that you're representing? And Chris, you want to say what subgroup you're representing? Okay, Shayna is our bipolar subgroup representation. So it's welcome, Shayna, to the land of real leaders. Come on in, and bring your bipolar brain with you. Yes. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Is that your brain isn't strong enough to brain. And now you have this fear and you can't process it because your brain isn't strong enough to process it. So now that's underneath. So you got a nice little cortisol, just nice little constant cortisol mist in the way of your biggest fear. So you say it, you have a strategy for it, or you say that shit ain't even true, and then you keep it moving. Next question is biggest regret. Biggest regret. Bridget said, I have an emergency travel kit, a small duffel bag full of all my essentials. I also have a smaller kit in my purse. Then what we talking about, AB? What we talking about? You ready. You stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. You ready. And you ain't the only person with IBD in the world. I'm here for the gay veteran millennial Aggies. There are dozens of us. You went to Texas A&M? This is the awakening. There you go. I wasn't going to steal your thunder because I know you like an entrance. All right. Biggest regret. Y'all know what my biggest regret is. My teeth. I didn't take care of my teeth. My teeth. I didn't take care of my teeth at all. I did not. I didn't take care of my teeth. I am the hula bula baloo. Okay. Hula. What is that, Chris? You're going to have to explain that to me because I'm probably fucking that all the way up. Then doggone A's and O's are my orthographic processing center is like, what? And hullabula. Let me look that up. Andrea said, not going to class. Not going to class and finishing my degrees in 20s when life was a lot easier. Give me a time machine and I go back and kick my own ass. Okay. I don't think I ever heard that before, Andrea. Sarah said, my biggest regret, not learning how to read music. I quit back in the 6th grade because I felt the instructor was hating on me because I could play by ear and felt it was boring and too hard. All right. Shayna said, my biggest regret is the level of intense fight. My amygdala and orbital frontal cortex send me into severe plus dangerous responses. I regret not being able to harness myself, not to ruin myself. Bridget took hers back. Nola said, my biggest regret would be becoming an effective communicator sooner, getting my Insula online sooner. Give me 1 second. Y'all gonna laugh at me, but I don't think y'all will laugh. It's okay. Okay. Hullabaloo. Oh, I fucked that all the way up. Hullabaloo. All right. I'm telling you, I've been saying subgenual ACC for about 4 months. It's still sitting on my desk because I will flip that E and that U in a second for sure. Yes. And then Bridges is gone. Nola's is there. Rania. Teresa said, that's why I changed my picture and my name on all three platforms for consistency. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Rania said, leaving my job without more of a cushion. Yeah, listen, I left and I did not have enough cushion. Chris, what's your biggest regret? Bridget said not going to classes correctly in high school and not going to Air Force after high school. Chris said, my biggest regret is flaking on a whole semester at community college. I could have graduated years earlier. All right, once again, how you feel about your biggest regret? And the reason why we're doing this exercise today is because Amy and Oscar and Lala like to mind wander, daydream, and ruminate, and they're very good at going to the memory library and bringing up all the shit you didn't fucking do. Now, if you ain't doing shit, they don't remind you of any of this. But when you decide that you're going to better yourself, strengthen your brain, or do something huge, here these motherfuckers come with their reminders of all the shit you didn't do, with that biggest regret sitting underneath. So every time somebody say something about college, every time somebody brings something up, excuse me, photos, music of that time frame, and everything else, you running from that shit. No more. Teresa said, excuse me, my biggest regret is that I believe the narratives that were handed out to me in my early childhood, wasting a lot of time. I'm writing my own script now. Yes, ma'am. Can you repeat the last question? How do you feel about saying what your biggest regret is? To the first follow-up question. And it's, please don't tell me, let me say this one more time. I read that's why I changed my picture and my name on all three platforms with consistency. And this is the awakening. So that's what I see, Teresa, for you. So you can say, if y'all could just say scroll up to mine, because you say I missed it and then it makes me feel like I've done something wrong. I can only get 4 names when there's nothing. If somebody types a big comment, it's going to scroll up before I can see it. So the missed it, you missed mine, makes me feel like I've done something when I'm operating in a system that I did not design. So if you could just say scroll up, mine is above such and such, that would be great, because it's kind of like stinging as if I'm ignoring you, and that's not the case. I have a limitation. Like right now, I can see the bottom of Sarah's name, Nola's, and Shayna's. That's all I can see right now. So as big as Shayna's is, if somebody comes behind her and types just as much as she types, I'm gonna miss Shayna's. And I'm not, see, I'm saying I'm gonna miss it. I'm not gonna see it. So if you could say you didn't see mine, or mine is there, scroll up. But when you say missed it, now again for me, it's making me feel like I've done something wrong, or I'm skipping people and I'm not taking into consideration. The other thing is, what we have noticed since we've been using YouTube's is comments don't always show up because of whatever it is that YouTube is doing. So none of this is intentional. It is a system error, not a Dr. Donna error. So I've been apologizing, saying I'm missing everything else. And in this moment, I'm realizing I got a limited capacity on what I can see based upon this, the thing I'm using. So just say scroll up, mine is above, and I will go back. Noah said, I feel authentic or transparent. Shayna said, I feel embarrassed about my biggest regret, but I am also thankful for the awareness of it so I can actually break the loop and activate my brain and the full potential of my person. Raniel said, I feel vulnerable, a little worried, like I needed to do it personally accountable. And then Chris said, I subscribe to the family piano theory. If I can't guarantee the changing the past wouldn't put me in the path of failing piano, then I have to make peace with it. Yes. Sarah said, I feel like I don't want to be thinking about that. I was in the 6th grade and I'm learning my audio production degree. See, so it popped up on Teresa's, pushed hers up. Production degree now, so I can use that to fill the void. Teresa said, I feel embarrassed when I don't show up as my true self, shrinking in the inside, knowing I'm bigger than what I show the world. Part of me living in my head. Those days are over. I know you out and about. You might as well make I'm Coming Out your theme song for Diana Ross, because that's what I had to do to come out as a nerd. So the regret. So watch this, ladies and gentlemen. You have a big old giant fear, and you got a big old regret. How you gonna be your best? Make that math. You got this big ass giant fear of something, and this big ass regret of something you didn't do. So something that might happen and something that did happen. How you gonna be a bad motherfucker? Bridget said, I feel like I was a reckless minor with no guidance. I regret my choices back then. I myelinated those pathways I have now, and I was uninformed as a child. Bridget, it would not have made a difference. You are a Pisces. If you knew how many Pisces I done ran, my uncle, my sister, and my other uncle are all Pisces. They all act exactly the same. So it wouldn't have mattered how disciplined. It takes Queen Latifah, Shaq, and Steve Jobs are Pisces, and you still got to reel them in. Y'all want to go to the fucking ocean, and it don't matter if you got an assignment due. It don't fucking matter if you about to go get married. If you got kids, it don't fucking matter. That fish want to swim. It's very few fish that can stay in an aquatic environment inside of an aquarium. They will die before they stay in that doggone aquarium. So the ones that make it is sitting in, it might be a big ass giant aquarium like the one in Atlanta somewhere, but it's only a few fish that can be contained. Most of y'all need the fucking ocean. You might make it in the lake, but y'all need the ocean. So I hear you, but yeah, y'all got to go float away and come on back. You got to go float away and come on back. You got to go float away, and then you got to come on back. And it's the hardest. That's why you here, because I didn't think you was gonna make it. I'm like, this Pisces gonna get in the ocean, and she gonna be all the way on the other side of the pond. She'll be sitting in London's bank somewhere, somewhere else. So that is what is taking place. It is you gotta leave. You gotta go be a fish. And then you come back. That's why you didn't been 420 in it since you was 13. Because you like, I'm going to leave and I'm going to float off. I'm either float up or I'm going to float off. Float on. Yes. Andrea said, I feel annoyed. Sarah said, brain dumps. Brain dumps for what, Sarah? Andrea said, I feel annoyed with myself not having the degree put me in a lot of indoor jobs. Now I have to overcome my age to find something better. Teresa said, you asked me how I feel. I said, empowered. I'm in good hands now. I'm with you. Like Allstate. That never came up for me, Teresa. I never saw that comment. You was betting against me? No, I wasn't, Bridget. I don't think you understand who you were when you showed up. You was a ain't be, call it like I see it. That's who I am. I am me. I'm going to turn my neuro reps in at 7:59 every day. I think you don't realize who you were. You presented as a typical Pisces. That's what you did. Know everything, gonna tell everybody everything, can't tell me nothing. Let me tell you this, let me tell you that. Let me see, you don't remember, but you know I remember. So no, I was not being against you. That's why you still are here. I said she either gonna do this. Well, you're not even the first Pisces that come through these waters. So I'm going by, okay, she a Pisces, got it. Your birthday is March 11th. You one day before my sister. I live with a person right next door to you. So no, ma'am, I was just looking and I'm observing. And it wasn't, oh, she acted. I'm like, no, I'd have been around enough Pisces to know y'all gonna float away. If you for real, you are the first longest Pisces staying around doing this work every day ever. Just like Jared is the first for the heterosexual men that's married with children, you the first to make it through this long. My own sister couldn't make it through one day. She came back, was like, I want to do your thing and all that. She couldn't do the first doggone turnaround wrist video because it said do mental math and add up the numbers, do a video, do mental math, adding up the numbers of your telephone number. And she couldn't do it. And she told me her sponsor told her that me and her got a tumultuous adversarial relationship, so she gonna have to go. That's like back in 2021. So nope, that wasn't what was happening. You were being who you were then. You have made leaps and bounds neurologically since that time. Okay, Teresa said, okay, I apologize. I got you. Scroll up. And I'm not trying to create, I know, I'm just telling you what's happening. That's not my intent. I sincerely apologize. Made me realize the importance of words. Yes, word choice matters. And when you get to level 4, you're going to find out why. Sarah said, I was guessing how we can still be bad motherfuckers. Okay, with the regrets. No, that's not what's going to happen. But thank you for that, asking that question. You have to strengthen Ms. Darlene. So y'all just said it publicly. Here's my biggest fear. Here's my biggest regret. That's what you said. And then you realized, okay, now I got to go do something about it. Because again, when Ms. Darlene is strong, neural reps, and bringing her online at the beginning of the day, processing your feelings while they're happening, now you can do something about it. All of you have your biggest regret. I went and got my teeth fixed. I'm not getting these other feelings taken out of my mouth because I'm fine. I'm not about to be, because that's cosmetic at that point. I'm good to go. But not having teeth and not having the right teeth and not flossing, you could die from having bad teeth. So I don't need nothing fucking with my immune system. So I got the teeth fixed. But I didn't take care of them. And again, my sister made it that she was always teeth. I was like, how important could it be? Her ass think it's important. It can't be important, but she was right. Even a broke clock is right twice a day. So that's my biggest regret. And even pulling the teeth out was the right answer because they were rotten teeth. They were bad, damaged teeth. And they were causing problems because of how big my teeth are. The wisdom teeth had to come out. So that was the better decision. Then I was like, fuck it, I won't have a side tooth. Then I was like, okay, cool, I will. Because then it starts messing with your bite and everything. And so now I have peace with both of my decisions. I was like 3 years before I got this bridge on the side of my mouth. So you say what it is. So you got this biggest fear stopping you, and we're getting ready to go to our 60 seconds. I'll ask these questions next week, the rest of them. Biggest fear, biggest regret, how you going to be your best? Neural reps. Because you need your brain to be strong enough to say, got it on the biggest fear. Here's the solution for that. Bridget has a solution. And sorry, you already like, this shit already happened. And then your biggest regret. Because think about this, for everybody who's had a biggest regret from years ago, especially if you're in elementary school, you old as hell now, or even, I mean, with Nola and Sarah, that wasn't long ago. For Sarah, it was kind of long ago, but clearly was not that long ago for Nola. You carry that with you and you myelinate. And I see y'all said something else, but I want to say this before I forget. And you myelinated that regret. So what did you tell the brain? Anything associated with that thing you can't do because of that regret. So anything related to school, anything related to community college, anything related to that regret, that didn't stop me from smiling. And my teeth, I had a space. So mine didn't stop me from smiling. It just stopped me from being able to chew correct. I was like, this hurt. This hurt. So eating became a problem. Sensitivity with my teeth. So now everything attached to that regret hasn't been accomplished in your life. Nola was, now I'm not talking on the phone, I'm not doing this, and then TaskRabbit showed up, a symbol showed up, and now she had no choice. Now she had to become an effective communicator if she was going to have a successful business. So think of all the things that are attached to that regret that you haven't done because of that regret. So if you didn't finish college, and Andrea said this, and so now she didn't finish college, now it's time for her to get new jobs, ageism is a factor, and all these other things, because school didn't get finished. Everything else. So everything was like, oh, you have a degree. Oh, you gotta have a degree. Oh, you gotta have a degree. And everything associated with having a degree. That's why you gotta not attack, but admit the fear and the regret. Because that's what's stopping you. That's what's actually holding you back because you myelinated. And now your parasympathetic system is on dysregulation. Now your sympathetic system is on high alert. And now you're making these comfort, safety choices because of fear and regret. Both of them are stopping you from becoming your best. And that's why today you got to look at that. What the fuck am I afraid of? Why? I ain't got no control over that, or that ain't even true. And now this regret and all of those nice little neural pathways that never got created because of this regret. Teresa said, I know you do a lot. I don't even know how you do it. I know how you do it. You have a lot of cortical real estate. Bridget, I don't know what that doggone 13 after you said. I knew it was one day before, so it's 13. Is that a crying emoji? You're the 13th. I knew it was an odd day and it was before or after. So I apologize. It's the 13th. I finished in 2020, in 22. There you go. So what I'm saying is, how do y'all feel about that now? And then we'll go to our neutral SGACC. So you had your biggest fear, you had your biggest regret, and now you are where you are. Stopping you from being your best. One is something that may or may not ever happen, and one is something that did happen. Oh, crying? Well, don't cry. Well, cry. No, cry. Tears are good. Tears are good. Tears are good. Because you kept saying it. I just don't know if I'm going to make it to day 90. You was worried. You was so worried to get off of level 3, and now you 90 days into level 4. So worried about that consistency. I can't start over. I can't start over. Now you turning your neuro reps in before the damn lives. And your clinic is opening. Now I'm adding to it now, huh? That's probably not. But how y'all feel? Now, biggest fear, biggest regret. That's what's stopping you from becoming your best. Wow, you made me say it out loud. Yes, you have me crying over here. Okay, yes. I made you say it out loud, what I just said. So can y'all answer that? You got your biggest fear, you got your biggest regret. That should align with why you can't become your best. Y'all thinking? Because I don't even see. Do I need to go to my tablet? I don't see nobody. Can somebody type something? There we go. Buffering. Thank you, Bridget. Because I'm like, did I get stuck again? Not I. Did YouTube make me get stuck? See how I'm taking responsibility for that? Shayna, and if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Shayna, just go ahead and send me an audio in Instagram and I will pronounce it correctly. I do have a deficiency in my orthographic processing center. And between that and my Midwestern accent, it takes me a minute to get people's names correctly. I am reliving, remyelinated instead of making new decisions. I feel responsible but empowered. Empowered others is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, Shayna, so that's great. Sarah said, I feel like I'm not about to let that stop me now. Just acknowledge it, let it go, keep moving forward, and learn it as I earn my degree. Yes. Bridget said, persevere in times of adversity. Chris said, I've been cleaning my desk and listening to experts discuss optimal study solutions for years. That's eye-opening. Yes. Yes, it is. Bridget said, I'm taking control of my life. Yes, ma'am, you are. The thing that I will say is it's a beautiful thing when you know that it's your brain, because that's the one thing that you actually can do something about. You've been thinking it's all these other things. You're like, whoa, 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 wait. You mean I can prune this shit and I can myelinate something different? You actually can. You actually can. This right here, 86 billion, baby. 85 billion glial cells. You got the lead singer and the support group helping you do any and everything that you put your mind to. All you got to do is myelinate it. Prune the shit that you don't need, myelinate everything else, and it becomes implicit. And then you're going to have way more neurological withdrawals that you can make, and deposits and withdrawals and deposits and withdrawals. Andrea said, I have an application for a state of Oregon already started when finishing it today as a top priority. Yes, ma'am. Can makes the impossible possible. My great aunt went back to school at 70-something years old and got her master's degree in the 90s. She sure did. Can makes the impossible possible. Virginia's in her 70s starting a business. So no regrets. I mean, most people got regrets, but don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you from doing anything, because the weight of the regret is lifting off of you, because you can't make a decision because the regret is so fucking heavy and it just keeps reminding you and reminding you and reminding you and reminding you. So you're just like, well, I'm going to just do this because that don't remind me of that. No, that's why I went back. did this fucking neuroscience fucking class. That first class tried to take me out. I said, I'll be damned if some neurons, some synapses, and some brains gonna take my ass out. Fuck you, physics. Bitch, I will take this test 10 times. I'm passing this motherfucking class. That's why you know it's hard. You got 10 times to take a test. That shit hard. I showed y'all that day in that doggone neurobiology class, and motherfucking 9.09% on the test. I said, well, that shit. A 9 point, that's my lowest, because I was doing 20s and 30s. I said, well, look at me gonna be my best. Look how I failed this motherfucker. Because if you gonna fail a test, get a 1 single digit score on your test. Go ahead. Don't fucking get 10%. Go ahead and get a 9% on your test. Yes, that's what you do. You didn't learn shit in that segment. You couldn't recall nothing. You got 1 question right on that test. You fucked it all the way up. I said, at one point, I just started saying, all right, let me go ahead and fail my first test. As I definitely, yes, sir. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna go well. But I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. So, yes, sir, quickly. And then we're gonna go ahead and go do this. So I've removed the Ask Dr. Donna's to only Tuesday. From get this live back down as for it to stop being 2 hours. So we about to do our SGACC and then our 3 questions and go, which is getting too long. When it got to 2 hours and 22 minutes, I was like, we're gonna do, if it's gonna be long, it's gonna be long on Tuesday. And that's it. Sarah said, do we need to type the helix if we have already prepared our answers to questions we know we're going to ask? Yes. You still do. Because what you're doing is some people are listening to the live, because if we were in the classroom, I could see you. So some people can listen, but they can't, like Lacey is at the building doing work. Sometimes people are at work and they can't type because they're at work. So it's letting me know who's going to actually answer the question. So if the screen jumps up, I can say, wait, hold up. How many people are actually going to answer the question? And it's also, that's what it's also for, is to bring Ms. Darlene online, so that she still knows that pause is saying, Ms. Darlene, we're about to answer a question. Even though, and Sarah literally types her answers up and then copies and pastes, but you're myelinating, think before I speak, think before I type, think before I copy and paste, because that brings the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex online. So it's a twofer. All right, let me get my clock together, my handy dandy trusty notebook. It's actually no, it's not. It's in a note. It's a tablet. Okay, my phone used to be a note. Now they don't make them no more. I'm sad. All right, anyway, go ahead. Let me flip this around. I'm going to count you in 3, 2, 1. And you're just going to reset your set it, SGACC to neutral. 3, 2, 1. All right. Teresa said, you made me say fear and regrets out loud and took a lot of weight off. I wasn't trying to even address it, really. There you go. All right. Questions for today. We got 3 new questions for those of you who were not in attendance to yesterday's lives. These are the new questions for you today. First question is, what have you accomplished in the last 24 hours? What have you accomplished in the last 24 hours? And drink water. See, Bridget, Nola, so it is. Bridget's name is star is yellow. Jairus is yellow. Yours and Regina's is yellow. That's your streak, Bridget, if you didn't know. We streaking over here like Duolingo. You know what I'm saying? Got some colors. 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 See, so Raniel's and Desmond's are the same color, I think. Her Desmond's is a little bit lighter than hers. And then Sarah's is different blue than that. But I feel like they're the same. Yeah, it's two different colors. Never mind, then there's more. Thank you, Nola. Sarah said, I use chat to build a detailed plan on how to save $10,000 a year by changing how I commute. Will pay for itself in 5 months and then use that 10K to fund my trading strategy and protect both investments. Well, all right now. Desmond said, I ran for the first time in months. Your knees okay, bro? You know, you okay? Did you have to ice your knees, sir? Started learning Yoruba. I'm messing that all the way up. Yoruba, I think. And Dr. Olagun and them are fluent, I think. Raniel said, I continued my Duolingo streak. Chris is thinking. Lola's thinking. Lola's gold, too. Andrea is thinking. I accomplished a lot in 24 hours. I said it. The major accomplishment was I am not in a 72-hour hold in Clark County. That's the biggest one. I practice inhibitory control. Nola was scared to get in the shower. You good? Yeah, I'm good. You sure? I had a ruptured patella a few years ago. Oh my goodness. And you can still run? I got these there. The problem with me is the reason why I can't run is because I was an MP. And I had a crazy company commander. First of all, I had 8 years of ROTC. That's number one. Everybody wanted to be infantry. And then my company commander would decide that we're going to do flak jacket runs and combat boots. So we would have PTs on with our flak jackets and our combat boots on. And then I have done more road marches than I care to admit. So my right ankle, when it goes up like that, it clicks. And all that running on all that concrete just tore my knees up. So I could walk real fast, but the actual running, and I miss the running. So I can get down, I would even say probably to a 10-minute mile walking, 10, 15. But I cannot run anymore at all. And not that I like the distance, but I would like, to go run a mile or two. But that's just not possible. Nola said, I had because my knees just swell up as soon as it's done. I had a very difficult closet appointment. I built the closet to the original schematics with tight space, and I was gone for 12 hours and still turned to my Neuro Rep before the new 7 p.m. deadline. Chris said, I wrote a script for a YouTube video. Oh, wow. Interesting. Andrew said, got food prep done for the week and realized that my walking tornado of unaccountability cousin doesn't scare me. You said a walking tornado of unaccountability. I tell you, you and Chris, y'all can turn the phrase. Desmond said, I look more like a duck or a dog with 3 legs, oil, but I did it. Okay, I understand. It was ugly but complete. Not oil. Yeah, 3 legs. But I did it. So I get it. It wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't you in your heyday. You wasn't doing your thing when you was in the Navy. Queen B said, I successfully turned the pool back clear from being green. Okay. Next question is, what principles of real leadership have you used in the last 24 hours? And Bridget, I've asked this. Do you have a strategy in place to cover the pool up when the season is over? Because now we are in August. Do you have a better strategy this year? Lola said, in the last 24 hours, I was able to take neighborhood children out of the neighborhood to show them life is not only where you see our neighborhood. That is awesome. And I meant to tell you that when you texted me that. But as you know, Lola, I was kind of tied up yesterday. I saw the message. I was like, yeah, I'll respond to that. It was like, shh. Sarah said, I use take a risk, develop a vision, and remove obstacles within the last 24 hours. Now, the reason why this new question is in place is because you have to use the 74 principles of real leadership, and they need to become implicit so it's happening automatically. I have a huge delay on me, so if you don't see my answers, they're coming. Yes, ma'am. Work, you putting your crew together. Yes, ma'am. Because that was, you had to, it was cold, the leaves was on it and everything. You forgot to put the pillow in and all of that. You like, damn it, Dr. Donna, you go. Like, you got to get a strategy behind that. Communicate effectively and listen for Raniel. So the principles of real leadership have stories behind them. They were developed for a reason, and now your reason is to use them. Sorry, auto-suggest keeps adding words. Got it. Totally understand that. Yep. So what principles of real leadership did you use? Handle conflict when it occurs. I should add a 75th one. Don't slap a motherfucker. Keep your hands to yourself. Andrea said, I kept my word. I told the tornado I'd call her back, and I made that call. I was very happy when it went to voicemail, but I did it. Yes, you kept your word. Yes, ma'am. Chris is thinking. Nola said, I use swim upstream. Failure is not an option. Be the best. Finish what you start. Persevere during times of adversity. Can makes the impossible possible. Meet your potential. Go above and beyond. Be the best. Inspect what you expect. Yeah, eliminate distractions. Get organized and stay organized. You did all that, Nola. Yep. And then you came home and relaxed. Sarah said, you said my name wrong twice in a row. I apologize, Sarah. What did I say? Did I call you Sarah instead of Sarah? Noah said, be technically competent and go for the goal. Yes, ma'am. Those two. Boom, boom, boom. All right. The next principle of real leadership. How did I pronounce this, Sarah? The next and final question is not a principle of real leadership. What did you do to hold yourself personally accountable in the last 24 hours? All right, Teresa said, what I have accomplished in the last 24 hours, I consolidated all of my neuro brain notes, flashcards, and worksheets. They were located in various places. Bridget said, set and maintain high standards, handle conflict when it occurs, stay focused, inspect what you expect, be the best, finish what you start. Preparation is key, and persevere during times of adversity. Sarah said, and I held myself personally accountable by scheduling alarms for every part of my day and building into that schedule everything I need to do on a daily basis in order to elevate my brain. Alrighty. Raniel said, I got my steps in despite not feeling my best. Andrea said, I wish Nola had a counterpart where I am. From the state of the MLS houses, I'm going to need a whole colony of task rabbits. Well, the good news is that first of all, the taskers are background checked. That's number one. Number two, you can just read their reviews. So that's on there. So you should have some 5-star taskers and located in Oregon. Shayna said inhibitory control. And Sarah, I said, did I call you Sarah? That's what you said. I mispronounced your name twice. So I want to know what I said to correct that. Yes. And then the last question, if you haven't answered, what did you do to hold yourself personally accountable in the last 24 hours? Chris said, I stayed focused and endeavored to be the best by starting one Japanese book instead of opening 7 books and then scrolling when I'm supposed to be braining. And Chris, did you say what principle of real leadership you used yesterday? It didn't come up for me. So in summary, as you all are finishing up your answers, yes. Right. So what's happening, Sarah, is there is a Sarah too. So my brain, when I see that part of your name, because Sarah was here first, I'm calling you Sarah because I'm used to saying Sarah and not Sarah. So I apologize for that. That's what I was thinking that was happening. So it's like sometimes I call Lola Nola and I call Nola Lola and I get those mixed up. And we used to have a Sabrina and a Regina. And so I would get those mixed ups too. So I do apologize for that. That's where the orthographic processing center is taking what it believes it sees and saying it. So I will do my best to continue to correct it. It is that she was here first, and so I'm used to saying Sarah instead of Sarah. All right, so in summation, ladies and gentlemen, you have addressed your biggest fear and you've addressed your biggest regret. And that's what's stopping you from becoming your best. That's what it is. If you're wondering why you can't do it, it's those two things that are stopping you and everything associated with those two. I didn't even want to correct it, but I know I have to. Thanks. Yes. And you do because I literally am saying Sarah. That's not your name. And I'm working to say Sarah. And I am, but again, my brain is just my orthographic processing center with the phonics. That's why I keep this on my desk because I'm still subgenual. And no matter how many times I say it and I look at it, I keep flipping the E and the U. So that is what has caused me in life to not be able to. It's not dyslexia. It literally is with just flipping it around at the basic phonics level. So once I get it, I got it. That's why I can read everybody else's things. But new words, my brain is really even with just the vowels, it seems like. Okay. So Andrea said, and you handle conflict when it occurs. And now I asked you, and now we know. And I will do my best in real time to correct that. Andrea said I had a strategy for making the call, handle conflict when it occurs, and limit how much time and information I was willing to share. You got to do that. You got to do that with the tornadoes, with the unaccountable people, because what is called is free information. And they will use that free information against you. That's why they chatty Cathy's. They trying to find out what's going on. Hey, girl, what you doing? How you doing? Yep, so I am with you. You busy right now. And you got a call yesterday because it was the first. People need money on the first. So they show up at the end of the month or the beginning of the month with a whole story, sob story and everything else. So, and Lola said patience. Got it. So, it's regret and it's fear. Both of those are extremely emotional. That's what will keep you stuck. Because in order to become your best, you got to be extremely logical. You have to be, Miss Darlene, executive function has to be online all day long. So you're regulating Oscar to do his actual job, which is to observe, notice, and send information forward. Your body sensations are telling you, hey, something's happening, or hey, something's happening. And now you're measuring that friction with that ACC. Now, let me tell y'all what's about to happen this week, okay? Now that you have said, here's my biggest fear, and here's my biggest regret, both the shits that's attached to that is going to show up this week. And the reason why is because just like I was tested yesterday, the universe is saying, hey, now what you about to do? So your objective is, now that you've said it, is to recognize everything that you myelinated for the biggest fear and for the biggest regret. And it's coming so you can prune it. It's not coming to attack you. They're not trying to get you and hold you back. You are now being made aware of it because you said, this is my biggest fear. This is my biggest regret. And now you are going to just observe what is taking place with those two things so you can do something about it, because they are barnacles holding you back, slowing you down so that you cannot grow forward. Something's holding you down, you can't go up. Something's holding you back, you can't grow forward and grow continually. Is one of the 74 principles of leadership. That can't happen with these two things because they're both excitable emotionals. And now what happens? Comfort, safety, and survival. All of the decisions attached to these two things. No, comfort, safety, and survival. Comfort, safety, and survival. And what you're going to be amazed at is how many things you myelinated based upon this regret and this fear. And that's what's stopping you from doing shit over here. And you can't get to the galaxy with these two things holding you back. So you have to honor it as it shows up going forward. I had to sit there and let them show those non-lethal munitions and go hand and arm signal and all of that. And I said, what in the lesson is this? What's happening here? I still got work to do. Well, guess I'm having oatmeal for dinner. Not need cash flow in the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Yes. So that's what's taking place. This has been a great self-reflection Sunday. So now you walk away with knowing what your biggest fear is, and it don't seem that big no more. And then your biggest regret, but you can do something about it. Let me see if I need to. Okay, give me a second. One thing that I wish the trolls understood. Racism doesn't bother me. So Ben's Garniak said Planet of the Monkeys. You know, they used to call us monkeys and say that we had tails. It's 2026. If you're still here, Bez, Grand NYC, whatever your name is inconsequential at this point. And so see, here comes another one. So we have two trolls obsessed with Dr. Donna again this morning. So that makes 3. And the interesting part is that there isn't an original thought between the two of them. So this one is using racism, and then this one is also using racism because they would like for my amygdala to be hijacked in this moment. That's what they're myelinating their brain for, racism and bullying. And these are adults. This is what their brain is myelinated for. So later in the week, when they actually need their brains to be high functioning, it won't be. And it won't be because of social conformity theory and racism that they are leading with this morning. It will be because they myelinated their brains for social conformity theory and racist remarks. And so once again, here we have this statement. Let's have an honest conversation that your hairstyle you're stealing from another culture. Let's have a bigger honest conversation and ask you why you're so obsessed with what I'm doing. Let's have a bigger conversation about that. Let's have a bigger conversation about why you are focused on racist remarks on the internet on Sunday morning. What's happening for you neurologically that you've decided to come and invite yourself into my live and see, here comes another racist person. None of them know that they are literally talking to an honorably discharged from the Army veteran. None of the 3 of them know that. What they see is what they were programmed to see. Any of the 3 of you serve in any of the branches in the military? Do you have a DD-214? Do any of you myelinated racist people have that? For a country you love so much, do you have a DD-214? Did you go and stand and hold the line at any point in your life? Patriots, did you do that? Are you going to have a military burial when you pass? Will they be putting the red, white, and blue flag on your casket and giving it to your surviving family members? I asked you a question that you're so obsessed with my hair. I asked you, are you a veteran or are you currently serving in any of the armed forces? Have you done that? Have you done that? Or do you just still wake up focused on other people's hair choices? I'm asking you neurologically why you woke up this morning and came to disrupt my learning environment to make a racist statement about cultural appropriation when this ain't what I'm talking about this morning. Why did you neurologically do that? What does the military have to do with your stolen hairstyle? Why are you so obsessed with my wig? Neurologically speaking, why did you wake up this morning and decide to be racist? Is my question to you. or hairist? Since we're talking about my hair, why did you neurologically make that choice? Why did you make that choice? Do you wear suits? Do you put on suits? Do you have on sneakers? So if you put on a pair of basketball sneakers, would I then ask you, why are you misappropriating putting on basketball shoes? Shall we ask the European women why they go and get their lips plumped up every month and their asses too? Since we're talking about misappropriation, why are there tanning salons everywhere? If we're talking about misappropriations, if we're going to be talking about who's misappropriating things, let's make it all an issue. Hair extensions. Why not just wear your regular hair? Who wears hair extensions? Is that not misappropriation? Why put on makeup? Isn't that being fake? So you came over here with your same little raggedy ass fucking sentence that you read somewhere or heard somebody say. Let's piss off what we think is a black woman wearing a wig who has actually a immune deficiency, which is why she's wearing wigs, which you're wrong about that as well. So I asked your low level cognitive thought processing self borrowed information, where's your DD-214? And you can't say that because you aren't a patriot, because you are a racist, because your brain doesn't actually brain and you don't really have anything else to say. So you woke up this morning because of your reductive existence and you thought you'd punch down. You thought you'd punch down. And so here we have another statement. Why are you so mad? Why are you so stupid? So now we're going to try to play the angry black woman card. When you came over here saying racist things to me while I was closing out my live because of your myelinated toddler brain existence. All right, stand down, Zara. Stand down, Chris. And see, we're still obsessed with my hair. And you are attempting to try to get me to take my wig off again, but that's not happening this morning. Why are you so obsessed with my hair when your reductive ass life needs your attention? Your reductive ass existence needs your attention more than you think I need your attention talking about my hair. So you aren't a veteran. So you have been living in this country without actually earning the right to live in this country. And now you've decided with your non-patriot ass that you are going to say something about me, but you are a male and you ain't put on a uniform. What does that say about you and your hair? What does that say about you? So y'all got a whole narrative about me. So you don't have to be accountable for what the fuck you say and do. But you're going to be accountable over here. Regardless of what is happening, get your emotions under control. What emotions? What emotions? You non-patriot, never wearing a uniform. You proud to be an American. You ain't do shit for this country. You so proud. Why you ain't got a DD-214 in America? Where your patriotism at? You online thinking you punching down. You already at the bottom of your existence. You're on the internet trolling people that you think you are better than, using borrowed information because you don't have the cognition to create an original thought. You got all these nice little narratives that you keep typing because you were sitting in a bored existence because nobody respects you in your own life. So here you come being disrespectful to a random person on the internet so you could feel better. Now I'm going to go back to my existence, and so are you, with my wig. And in fact, I'm going to change it because I got to go do some other work. So this was a neurological epic fail for you this morning and your counterparts. And it didn't work because your brain don't work. It only works with another imbecile. You ain't got shit else to say? You still here? That manipulating ass bullshit don't work over here. The DD-214 trumps everything. The honorably discharged captain in the military trumps everything. So while you were developing your racist statements, I was standing and holding the line, knowing that people like you have nothing but negative things to say about people like me based upon my gender, my skin complexion to you, and a immune deficiency system. You chose to go with everything that you saw. And then nothing else. And now you have nothing to say. Can somebody type something so I can make sure my comment still works? Level 1 through 5, can y'all do an ellipsis or something? This is why you go do extraordinary things. So when people decide that they know who you are based upon a snapshot, based upon, yes, thank you, I see it. So based upon social conformity theory, that's why I say be who the fuck you are, because can't nobody tell you who the fuck you ain't. I think these are what y'all call, it's a real technical term, receipts up in this bitch. Receipts. Because I know who the fuck I am. I'm Levi Thomas' great-granddaughter. He was European, but he liked that blackberry cobbler. Hence, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm going to London to see my people. Go ahead and say hey to the prince in them. Got a little Welsh going on up and through all of this. I'm going to go see my cousins. So that's why you work on your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Did you know that your personality is in your prefrontal cortex? And you can't get to that shit because of a regret and a fear. You can't get to that shit. See, I done did enough in my lifetime where when a motherfucker come on here trying to talk dumb shit to me, I will, and this is a very technical term too, we used to say this back in the day, read your whole card. What we're not going to be doing is that dumb shit over here. Because I, unlike anybody else, knows what's happening neurologically. I know why it's happening. And one thing about a racist is they don't want to be called a racist to their face when they're trying to act like they're not being racist. They want you to jump in and be racist too. Yes. That's what they want you to do. I ain't got time for that fucking neurologically reductive ass bullshit. I'm not myelinating that shit. That shit only works if you think I think I'm black. How many times I gotta be on the live and say it's the fucking color? That shit don't fucking bother me. You know how many fucking names I've been called? This motherfucking 1,002 days on the internet. I've been called everything but the child of God. You're the first person to come over here and talk about my fucking wigs, and you won't be the last. But do not act like other ethnicities don't borrow from other ethnicities and pick the one fucking thing. You know how many industries are in play because of hair? Y'all go get fucking hair plugs. What's the big fucking deal? What you can see. It's all the fuck Oscar cares about. And people have let what Oscar said turn them into who the fuck they are. Y'all got people out here thinking they colors. They actual colors. This is yellow. This is red. My new reading glasses are brown. This tissue is white. This pen is black. Does any of this match my skin complexion? Does any of it match my skin complexion? How we get the colors? How we get the colors that ain't even colors? You never asked yourself that? Colors. Y'all see the colors? The colors. How we get the colors? Who made up the colors? Because I wasn't in that meeting. I didn't sign up for that. So how the fuck somebody gonna call me a color and I'm gonna get mad? And in my book, I got black because in 2009, I still thought it was black because that's what I was told was you was black. I was still in a corporation, BPA, Black Professionals Association, and then I got my DNA. And it didn't say black on there. It said from the Africas, Nigerian, and all of that. Irish, Polish, Welsh, some shit. 1% Filipino. It didn't have colors. So I found that interesting. I said, so it doesn't say colors, ethnicity, and nation of origin. That's what it said. So when they start talking about Black people, they're not talking to me. Right. They're not talking to me. They start saying the N word. Yes, I'm nice. You're not talking to me. I was in none of those meetings. I didn't sign up for none of that. I didn't. You know what I signed up for? Motherfucking real leadership. Bad motherfucker. You got room with some bad motherfuckers in it? Hey, I'm there. Yes. I'm just saying I've been called a bunch of other shit by thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Yes. And so I'm not going to let them stop me because I never signed up for none of that shit. And their brain shouldn't have signed up for it either because you still are myelinating racism. So you're going to wake up every day looking for racism. Now, what aren't your children getting? Your family members, your friends, what aren't they getting from you because your brain is myelinated for racism? Sexism and machismo-isms and all the isms. Because it's neurological. That person woke up ready to go ham and burger on some people on the internet, and it's implicit. Now, what are we getting from that brain? Because that brain is myelinated for racism. What is the world in lack of from that brain? Because that brain, comfort, safety, and survival. I got to survive against these colors. And then what? It's not like your existence is better. Like you're actually surviving and thriving from that. Because that is what your identity is. I'm not you. No one is me. No one is anybody else. I'm better than you. Based upon what, bitch? What scorecard are we using? Skin complexion? And then what? And then what? You got a thing hanging between your legs and I don't? And then what? Then what? Then what? Things I had no control over. I did not have control over having alopecia. But everything that I own control and influence, oh, I'm like that. I mastered that shit and moved on. So you could wake up every day, you could say something about what you believe is my skin complexion, but you will not reduce me to a scorecard that I never agreed to be scored on. Never. Let's use my scorecard. The Theory of Personal Accountability and the 74 Principles of Real Leadership, and see where you motherfuckers shake out at. Let's do that. So no, we will not be accepting any of that shit because it's not neurologically sound. Let's put it up against the brain. Would Ms. Darlene ever create racism, sexism, sexual assaults, or anything else and say don't love who you love because that's nasty? Y'all do some of the nastiest shit, S&Ms and everything else, and then y'all want to come talking about people like Chris in a monogamous 10-year relationship because they love differently than you. Ain't that some shit? Y'all touching your own fucking kids. And you want to talk about what's holy. That ain't a verse in nobody's Bible or holy book. Touch thy children down there. So these narratives need to be abolished if we're going to burn some shit. All of these narratives, why? So people don't have to be personally accountable for their actions. That's why y'all got the graphic. So you don't have to be personally accountable because of my skin color. That's not true. It's not even true. It's not true. I am not Black. I'm not. So anything associated with that, I'm not male. So if they start talking about prostate cancer, I don't have one. If they start talking about jock itch, I don't have one. I don't have one. If they start saying this is what's best for your beard, I don't have a beard. If there is a shortage of fucking shampoo, I don't have fucking hair. They're not talking to me. They're not. I didn't sign up for none of that shit. If they start talking about birth control, I ain't got no more fucking eggs. It don't apply to me. So I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel that says I didn't sign up for that. I did not sign up for inferior. Bitch, I am superior. I come from a good lot. I'm Levi Thomas' great-granddaughter. I wish a motherfucker would. My great-granddaddy fought in World War II, too. You want to brag about some shit? I'm third-generation vet, too. I got receipts, too. So you will not come over here in my face or virtually and start deciding who the fuck I am for some rules that I never fucking signed up for. Yes, ma'am. So what the fuck we not gonna do is keep allowing this to stop you. Ain't nobody been successful in stopping me doing shit I want to fucking do because they call me a black bitch. Because they call me ghetto. They said, you can't talk. All right, bitch. Watch what I'm about to do. Don't listen to the words. Watch my smoke, motherfucker. That's what you can fucking do. So you go ahead if you want to, but I ain't letting that shit stop me because that's behavioral. What the fuck is happening in your brain that you think that's okay to treat people like that and say shit like that to them? What the fuck is wrong with your life and your brain? That's what you waking up every day doing. Something wrong with you. Ain't shit wrong with me. That's your motherfucking brain myelinated for all that dumb shit. That's what you did. You had a whole life and you myelinated it for that dumb shit. That's what you did with your life that you ain't never gonna get again. That's what you doing with your 86 billion neurons and your 85 billion glial cells. Waking up every day hating on somebody else because you hate yourself more than anybody else. I said it. Somebody that loves themselves would never do that to anybody else. The amount of self-hatred that you gotta have to be focused on somebody else every fucking day. And I don't care what side you on. It's neurologically stupid to do. We ain't got nothing in this fucking world that we need because everybody is waking up myelinating dumb shit and standing 10 toes down on it. You done created narratives and everything else, so you ain't got to be your motherfucking self. You know what Nola and I had a conversation about? People that talk about gay people and gay hate the most are gay. Come on out and leave them alone. They're jealous because y'all came out, Chris and Nola. They're jealous because y'all got the strength to be your fucking self unapologetic motherfuckingly. They jealous of y'all. Love who the fuck you love. They ain't in lavender marriages, right, Chris? Y'all not. All these lavender marriages going on, trying to be something that you fucking not. And they be the biggest fucking haters. Biggest fucking haters. Hating themselves. Regular people don't care one way or another. They are. Stand marching in the streets. This is wrong. You talking to yourself. You talking to your motherfucking self. Because a real heterosexual person don't care. Look, I got bigger shit to do. I tell you what, a gay man ain't never hit on me. I ain't never had a problem. I ain't never had to say, honey, no. I don't swing that way. All this hate. You hate it because you see it in yourself. They hate us because they ain't us. No, you hate you because you ain't them. That's where this is happening at. So if everybody held themselves personally accountable to become their motherfucking best, we wouldn't have time for all this stupid ass mess. It's just dumb. Create all of this chaos so you don't have to be up here. Let's create a bunch of noise out here. If you got beef with us, you got to pull up because we all love and we ain't bothered. Right. Unbothered, unfazed, and unmotherfucking concerned. Living your best life. The fuck? And people in social conformity theory trying to fit in where? They don't even fit in. Do you ever notice that in order for you to assimilate, you got to be fake? Why? because the group responsible for it hates themselves. They don't even want to be their own selves. That's why you got to behave like that over there. Nobody's real. Y'all get to be y'all 100% self over here. I don't give a fuck what you wear. Wear what you want to wear. Monique got fucking feathers and doggone fairies. She blowing bubbles right now in Grenada on doing Spice Mask. Gold eyeshadow and everything. I don't care. Nola was the only kid in school with 5 fingers. She had one rule: iron your clothes and make sure they're clean. Now go to school. Be in dress code. Nola's oldest story in the book. Right. They found out a few of the senators are like that. Right. Since the beginning of the time, people got to hide who they are for somebody else's Oscar bitch ass comfort. Exactly. They had a Republican convention in one town somewhere, and they fucking broke Grindr or Tinder, whichever one is for the men. Broke it. So stop. That's why you get to embrace diversity over here. That's why. I'm serious about that. What I don't fuck with is unaccountable people ruining and damaging their brain. That's who don't get to be over here. An unaccountable motherfucker. Got to go. But all of these things to stop people. Grindr. Yes, every time a convention happens. How's that possible? Not Tinder, Grindr. Okay, I'll wait. So I'm going to talk about your hair. I'm going to talk about your color. I'm tan. Nobody ever calls me tan. Nobody ever calls me caramel. If we're going to say what color is closest to, it's way, way, way far away from here. I tell you that much. Way, way, way far away from here. So we're not going to do that. I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to allow it. That's not going to happen. Because when people start finding out how much shit I did, I go from being a black bitch to thank you for your service. And when I wear my military police hat, racist people don't know what to do with my captain bars on it. They're confused. They don't, because, they have cognitive dissonance. They don't know what to do. That's why they started asking me, what's part of my outfit? No, bitch, I am the fit. So no, we're not going to keep doing this shit. This reductive ass fucking existence. Just be fucking cuz. You can't be who the fuck you are. You're not going to stop me from being who the fuck I am because you don't like who you are. That's your fault. You myelinated that shit. You signed up for all that dumb shit. And now you're going to come over here because you don't like the way your life is life and try to reduce me to some repetitive ass fucking commentary. Your bitch ass was supposed to be over here staying and coming out. Your bitch ass was supposed to come over here and represent your subgroup so you could go take this real leader brain shit back to them so that group could be better too. And you over here talking about my hair. So obsessed. People focus thinking. The problem is out there because it can't be with me. Y'all the ones fucking up. No, you just fucked up. That part. So any of these stupid ass stereotypes that you still find yourself being on the receiving end of, put that shit on a piece of paper and burn it up. Oscar came up with all that shit. Miss Darlene would never. She got bigger fish to fry. She ain't got time to be talking about that regular dumb shit. Shit you can't fucking see. Neurons. What stupid motherfucker has some shit to say? Oh, never mind. Sorry, Zara. They blocked you. Reminds me of how they treated the all-black female battalion, the 6th AAA. Yeah. I got treated like that in 1996 to 2001. I was going to say Carmel, identify as Carmel. Or I'm just going to be Levi Thomas' great-granddaughter. That part. So things that scare you. You're different than me. I'm scared of you. Let me make you a threat. Instead of walking over there and having a conversation with somebody that's different than you. It's all this identity protection. It's all this threat detection. The last time I checked, everybody has a brain. That's what makes us the motherfucking same. I ain't never not met a human being without a brain. Equal. Done. Take it back neurologically. But then, what would happen is, and I know I'm over 2 hours, I don't give a fuck. Now you got to find out who you really are. Because these things say, I'm this thing. Well, if I'm this, and I could look at you real quick and see who you are. You going to tell me that you see a motherfucker with a doctorate degree by looking at me? You see an honorably discharged military police captain who was both enlisted and an officer. You see somebody who was in the Army Reserves, their senior year of high school. That's what you see when you see me. You see somebody that read 11 years worth of book challenges. You see somebody who understands the brain to the point where they made a whole theory about it. That's what you see? Or would you have to stop and use one of the principles of real leadership? If you don't know, ask. Would you actually have to have a conversation with me to actually understand who I am without using all this pattern recognition to think you know me? You would always be wrong. You would always be wrong. Always. And you let them say that. I was not a smoker of crack. My mother was, and my sister. Not me, not in my resume. And if I did, I would tell y'all. That part. They hate that I served in the military. Their word, served. That I sacrificed my life for 5.5 years, and I'm still paying for those 5.5 years, physically and mentally. And they want to tell me who I am. I will never acquiesce to those sentiments. I will not sign up for some shit that I wasn't in a fucking meeting for, and neither should you. Do not allow their Oscars to be comforted. Disrupt the shit out of their fucking Oscars. And when you actually go do all the things that they did not do and you do it better than them, you shut them the fuck up. That's what you do. I know you're not referring to me. Are you speaking to me? Well, let's go ahead and let's go to LinkedIn. Let's compare resumes. Let's do that. Let's do that. Because I don't give a fuck what skin complexion you have. In America, military service trumps everything. That's the one trump card you got. That you said what? Ain't never been an appointment that Nola and I have had that we've come across. One appointment, one lady who was extremely disrespectful, so we didn't go back to her. She was having a tough time, but we never went back to her. She had the unmitigated gall to call MPs mud puppies. And she lucky that she was Nola's client instead of mine, because she was enlisted, and I would have read her ass like a nursery rhyme having been Captain Thomas, but that was Nola's appointment, so I said, And then as soon as we got in the car, I said, thumbs down her. She will never get nothing else put together again. Not happening. So one person out of many. And every time they find out that I was a military police captain in the Army, they go, whoa. Because you know what we haven't run back into? Another military police officer in the Army. We haven't. So at that point, you got to now go and self-reflect and self-correct, because you don't know what the fuck to do with that. You have no idea what to do with that right there. So yeah, I went and did a whole bunch of shit that I wasn't supposed to do based upon me being from Glendale between 12 and 14, Linwood and Woodrow Wilson. And now you have to shut the fuck up. You actually have to shut the fuck up, because what are you going to say to that? What you going to say to that? Nothing. That's why you strengthen your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Can makes the impossible possible. Nola asked me the benefits of being the first. I told her none. I told her absolutely none. There's no benefits to being first. None. The people, have a good one, Bridget. I've used your fat, crazy bitch stereotype in a few emergencies. I scared the crap out of some people stealing my bicycle. Got it. So be who you are. Be who you are. We gotta go. So I still need to take my shower. But what we're not going to do is try to reduce Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. I'm Levi Thomas' great-granddaughter. You're never going to be successful at that shit. Never. Because I didn't sign up for none of that bullshit. Everybody over here is treated with dignity and respect and exercise tact. So you come over here, you do this work, you can stay. Love who you love. Make the amount of money that you want to make. I don't care if you got $50 or $50 million. Do this fucking work neurologically. That's what matters to me. I don't give a fuck about none of that other bullshit. And neither should you. If you want to be called black because that's what you think, then go ahead and be called black. That ain't got shit to do with me. If you want to be called purple, you want to be called yellow. If you say, I am ethnic fluid, whatever the fuck that term is, whatever it is, because I can't think right now. Whatever it is, then that's what you get to decide as an individual person. You get to decide that, and you get to claim that. If you want to be called yellow, purple, orange, green, red, flower, I'm going to do my best to remember that. Because what difference does a difference make? Honestly and truly, that's what's in my book for Embrace Diversity. What the fuck that got to do with your neurological wiring? Nothing. Nothing at all. You think about all the things that cause problems, Oscar is causing those problems. Wars and everything else is because Oscar saw some shit and made a fucking dumbass decision. Miss Darlene would never. She would be able to handle conflict when it occurs at the lowest common denominator, and it wouldn't turn into this doggone big ass shit. Because she knows she got to get back about her business. All of this shit that we experience is from Oscar-fied brains being fucking afraid to be themselves. Fear and regret. They are afraid to be who they actually are. That's what the problem is. You worship different than me, you look different than me, you love different than me, I'm rich, you broke, all this stuff, I'm smarter than you, and all of that. It's just this stupid ass fucking toddler playground existence that people have just myelinated because it's easier to do that than to do this. But this is the only thing that's going to change humanity. And I'm starting it, but I better not be the only person finishing it and doing it. That's how I see that. So you feel better when you can actually stand up to people that have told you all these things that are not true about you based upon things, most of which you can't control and are simply not true for you. You got 5 kids. No, I don't. You had a bunch of abortions. No, I haven't. You got a bunch of baby daddies. No, I don't. I got 1 ex-husband. You from the ghetto. Now I live in a gated community in one of the most expensive places in Nevada. Now what? What you gonna say? I'm anti-stereotype. Now shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Because I'm over here minding my business. You coming over here in my business. Why? Because your life needs a host. I don't need y'all to be over here to do what I'm doing. But you need to be over here so you can figure out what you're going to do for your day. I don't need an external stimuli. I am the stimuli. So if your lessons for today are the following. You know what your biggest fear is. You know what your biggest regret is. Now go do the neurological work to crush both of them bitches and go be a bad motherfucker. That's the moral of the story. And do not let these meetings that you did not attend. You can say, I didn't sign up for that and I wasn't in that meeting and I didn't get the memo. That shit don't apply to me. Because it doesn't. So don't use that as a reason not to become a bad motherfucker. Under no circumstances. Go, to quote the Army in the 90s, be all that you can be. Okay? God willing, higher power, the universe, I'm going to be back tomorrow with my same motherfucking bad self and my amazing myelinated brain to give you the information that you need so you can become a bad motherfucker too. Y'all go off and have a motherfucking real leader ass day. Adios.